Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Sunday, and we are in Sacramento, California, which is the northern part of California. Interesting thing about Sacramento is it's in a really nice spot in California, and I didn't realize like how beautiful the spot is. It's right next to Elk Grove. It's a beautiful place, a really nice place to live. It's right next to Elk Grove, and then it's not too far. Sacramento's not too far from San Francisco. So San Francisco is like, well, you still have ways to go west to the coast of, of the Pacific coast. So you have to go west. Sacramento's east to the nice, beautiful mountains and all that. But it's a nice place. If you look at Southern California, SoCal, it's it's very populated. I'm not saying that San Francisco is not populated. I'm simply saying, I'm not saying Oakland that it's not populated, but I can see why a lot of people say they wanna live up in the northern part of California instead of southern part of California. If you look at LA, man, it's just crazy down there, man. Like the southern part of California, it's just, LA is beautiful, but it's just way too many people down there, man. Just overpopulated, and the crime is dangerous. I think the northern part of California is the nicest part of California, in my opinion. And it's beautiful mountains and all that. Like I said, Sacramento is not that far from San Francisco. I'm not saying they're super close, but they're not that far. They're not far. And, you can always go visit San Francisco. Obviously, it's not that far. But San Francisco, again, it's a big city, but it's also beautiful to visit. You think you know California, but you really don't. California is a big state, right? When you really look at it, it's a huge state. From border of Mexico all the way up to the border of oh my God, Portland. What's the state? Oregon. And then Oregon, you got Washington State. But I can see why people talk about everyone's telling me about the Northern California, man. I said, because people always telling me, well, where did you visit? I said, L.A. Well, they're like, everybody goes to L.A., so you just visit southern part of California. And they try to tell me, California, it's not just southern part of California. Yes, the most popular is in Southern California, but that's not the only place in California. Dude, there's other places in California. It's a big state. And then you realize, well, there's Sacramento. And right next to Sacramento, you got Elk Grove. Elk Grove is a beautiful place. It's a nice place. Very peaceful, nice place, safe place to live. Out of all the cities in California. And you're not far from Sacramento. You're just south of Sacramento a little bit. And then you've got on the west side, you have Oakland, and then Oakland you got San Francisco. So not far from Oakland and San Francisco either, which is great. And then also you're not that far from, to be quite honest, you're not that far from Oregon, I'm not saying you're super close, but you're not that far away from Oregon. If you want to go drive, you can drive and get there in about a few hours, give or take. If you're going to Portland, about a few hours, but still, you can get there. So yeah, that's where we are. We're in Sacramento. So just want to let you know. The one thing that I really appreciate about doing these Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 videos, I get to really be familiar with the world and the places that I never been. So when I do decide to go visit certain places, like I know exactly where this is. Like, oh, I know exactly where this place is. It really gives you a better sense of orientation, and I think that's one of the benefits of having this Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. That you get to, be familiar with the places around the world that you normally wouldn't have like ability to do so in real life because it's too expensive to be traveling around. Like I said, like here we go, like California, right? I've always been thinking of California and Southern California, LA, because it's the most famous city. But then there's other parts of California, like I said, there's all these ranches, all these mountains, like all these cliffs, like the famous mountain where the footage of the Bigfoot, right? The creeks, not the cliffs. I'm not saying cliffs, cliffs. Although there are a bunch of cliffs in California and mountains, I'm talking about the creeks. There's so many creeks, mountains in California, Northern California. To go hiking, although you got to be careful. There's grizzly bears and mountain lions, and people get lost there. So you have to be careful when you go out hiking Northern California, obviously. But the whole point I'm trying to say is, like, I can see why people keep saying if you want to live in California, you should live in a northern part of California. Forget the southern part. Northern part, which would be like Sacramento, Elk Grove, which is south of Sacramento, Elk Grove, and then there's many other, small towns above Sacramento. They're really nice. You don't realize that until, like, you look at the map, like with this software, and we'll talk about the A330 in a minute. I just want to tell you where I'm at currently, because I feel like if I'm going to live stream a game like this, I think I should do like a commentary, like a Blu-ray commentary, like a DVD Blu-ray commentary. You know how directors and filmmakers, they have an audio commentary, and they're telling you on what they have filmed, right? Okay, well, this is how I filmed this movie, blah blah blah. So I'm kind of like doing the same thing. I want to walk you through like my live stream. All right, so let's go ahead and remove this. Okay. Oh, this is great. This is A330. I never flown A330. This is also by Any Builds. Any Builds is definitely the best, because the Any Builds already, I think they've done 320, right? They've done A320, A321, and A330. And why I'm like talking about these Airbuses, because these Airbuses are the most common airplanes that you're going to see when you are traveling. Now, my favorite, it's Phoenix A320, but that's only on a PC, of course, but Any Builds is definitely what I would recommend. Like, you can't go wrong with I would say A320, A321, and A330. Those are my top 3 from Any Builds. All right, let's just make sure everything's ready here. Let me see how many people. Hold on. Us 3 people watching so far. Well, it's late. late in the morning. Okay, everything's good here. All right. Let's go inside. Why did I choose Brussels? Because that's the only livery they have at the moment right now. And I kind of like it. It's kind of cool. I think they do have more liveries, but you have to pay for it. And that's the one thing I don't really like about the Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's the paywall behind it and how much they're charging for these liveries, man. I think liveries should be like a community designed, and they should allow the community to create liveries. And I think that would be amazing if they would let community, like a free market community where everybody in the community creates liveries, and then we all get to share those liveries and use those liveries. I think it would be amazing. That would be something that I would really love to see, but I don't think Asobo will do that. It's not that the Asobo want to do it. You have to understand, Asobo, it's owned by Microsoft, so there's only certain amount of decisions they can make, and obviously Microsoft will say no, we want to make money, Bethesda is Bethesda. That's different. Bethesda is owned by Todd Howard, and if Todd Howard says, hey, I want the modifications to be free, let the community make free modifications, and they do have a lot of free mods on the what's that game, the space game, Starfield, right? Yeah, but that's because he's the owner of the company, and if he says, yeah, have the free mods, then we can have free mods. However, Asobo, it's owned by Microsoft, so they can't really do what they want to do. But it would be nice if we didn't have to pay for these liveries. That's all I'm saying, But I understand why they're there, and I understand why we have to pay. But it would be nice if there was a, free modification. Now on a PC is a little bit different. On a PC, you can find some free modifications, but there's a risk involved. That's one of the things I want to say before we jump into this plane. A lot of people asked me about, well, on a PC, how safe is it to use these third-party airplanes like Phoenix A330 and others? There's always a risk because you are getting an airplane that it's a third party. It's not like approved by Asobo. It's not like vouched by Asobo or Microsoft. You can use it, but you have to understand it's not like 100% tested with everything. So whenever there's a new update, Phoenix has to, Phoenix meaning the company, developer company, third-party company that created the Airbus A320, and this has happened to me, they have to constantly keep up with the updates that the Asobo, it's like update 5 or update 6 or update 7, which I believe update 7, it's September, October, just in time before holidays. We'll see what they're going to do with the update 7. That's the one I'm waiting for, update 7. But you have to take a risk, with these third-party airplanes. Now, let me tell you, is it worth it? Yes, even with the risk, I would say it's worth it, because once you experience a realistic flight model of Airbus 320 with a proper equipment, obviously, with a yoke and everything, man, then you say, wow, this is what it's about. This is what it's like to fly. And that's why these planes are so expensive, you know. A lot of you ask, well, why do you have to pay $70 or $80 for these planes? Because they are realistic flight models. And ex-commercial pilots, that's what they want. And they want to experience that same experience at home, in their own home, with their home cockpit that they build, and they're enjoying their retirement money, right? So they want to have that experience, and they're willing to pay $80. And it's really designed for people who want the realism. It's not for everyone. That's what people need to understand. Like, when it comes to Phoenix A320, it's designed for those of you who want the realism, But any builds, it's pretty close to. I just want to say this: any builds, and we'll jump into the plane pretty shortly. Any builds is pretty close to Phoenix, and any builds, it's included. This is the good part. This is the good news. The good news is A320, A321, A330, A stands for Airbus. They're all included from any build as a default library on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and that's a great news, All right, well, let's go ahead. Let's let's go inside the cockpit. Let me show you the cockpit. Hold on. We'll get in there. We'll go inside really quick. Hold on. Just need to adjust my camera. The one thing that I will appreciate about any builds is, and I certainly noticed that. I noticed that in their previous A321, is that they have a good sense of space. Like I noticed, like other developers of these airplanes, of these Airbuses, it's too tight and claustrophobic, and it feels too small in VR. Any builds has a good understanding of the sense of space, like to give you that realistic sense of, well, this is how big the cockpit is between you and your co-pilot. This is how tall above instruments are for you to reach and click on there. This is how much of width do you have, and how much of length do you have. The measure of space, like the measure of space, it's done realistically with any builds. And this is why I always tell people, if you want to fly a commercial airliner on PlayStation VR 2, and that's why I'm making these live streams, to let you know that any builds, it's definitely the best choice. Okay. All right, so let's get started, shall we? Beautiful. Nice. Wow, look how many screens we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screens. And we got the 2 small ones. A330. Nice. This is really nice. It's already nice. Can we take a screenshot of this? There we go. Hey, Ms. Lee, you need some light? I heard you need some light over here. That's okay, Ms. Lee. We'll find the lights. Don't worry. Just give me a second over here. It's early in the morning, all right, Ms. Lee. It is early in the morning, all right, and Mr. 4K is still trying to wake up. I know that some of you will be watching this live stream later on. You have to remember, people always ask me, but you don't get that many views when you are streaming. That's okay. This live stream will have a life of its own. 6 months from now, a year from now, people will find these videos, and I'm making these videos for long term, so people can watch them 6 months from now, or 12 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now. So, that's okay. That's fine. Not every live stream has to have, hundreds of views or 200 views or like 100 people watching or 200 people watching. It doesn't have to have that many people watching. These live streams will have a life of its own. And what's the best way to watch my live streams? Guys, it's only $2. Become a member. I always tell people, if you're irritated by these commercials, $2 not only will it help me, but it'll also help you remove these commercials so that way you can watch uninterrupted, and it's only $2. If I could bring it down to like a $1, I would bring it down to $1. If I could bring it down to like 50 cents or even 25 cents, I would bring it down to 25 cents, but they will not allow that. So, I think personally it's worth it. And I've seen that some of you have become members for $2, and I totally understand why, because you don't want to be interrupted, and I get that. I understand that. All right, so Ms. Lee, where's the lights? The lights, where are they? These are Vipers. I'm not familiar with, not familiar with what I meant to say. Oh, there's a floodlight right here. I'm not familiar with Airbus 330, so you guys have to bear with me, all right? All right, well, there's a floodlight. We'll just put it 25%. That's good. Put it to like 10% here. 10%. Oh, this is great, actually. But still, we need, hold on. Altitude select. We'll go up to 16,000 feet. All right, 35%. Yeah, this is great, actually. This is perfect. I wouldn't even bother touching anymore in terms of lights. This is perfect. This is just fine. This is great. All right, Ms. Lee. What? You're not happy that you're like in the dark over there? Well, you want some light. Well, hold on, Ms. Lee. Let me see. Oh, I see, I see. Hold on. All right, hold on. Is that better? 35%? Yeah, I think it's good. I think you can see. I think you're good. We have some light over here. It's fine. I think majority of pilots, they do have it like this, from what I have heard, because they don't want too much light, because they want to be able to see, outside, especially at night. They want to have a good visibility. And I think this is perfect. This is perfect, honestly. This is great. All right, I think we are ready to rock and roll. Let's contact the ATC. And before we do that, I just need to make sure that hold on. Hold on a second. There we go. That's better. As I was saying earlier, I just need to make sure that my Thrustmaster T-Flight Hottest 4 turned on. Okay. I got so many cables wrapped around this. Yo, this hottest one. No, not hottest one. Hold on, let me unplug the cable really quick. Let me plug it back in. Just give me a second. It's like a spider web of cables here, man, with my joysticks and all the other equipment that I have connected to my computer and my console. So why do you have so many cables? Because I like to have my controller charged at all time. I like my controller to be always plugged in. I don't want to worry about, ooh, did my batteries drain, you know. So I like my controllers to be always plugged in, ready to go, so I don't have to worry about it. So now I need to turn on my there we go. Okay, let me also clean my That's good. Oh, yeah, that's really good. All right, we have the headphones mode on. Headphones mode, it's a must. Trust me. Let's contact the ATC. Okay, we need to board the passengers. Request passengers boarding start.
Sacramento ground. Mr. 4K, upscaler Mike India Sierra Tango Echo Romeo. Could you please get the passengers on board?
Mr. 4K, upscaler Mike India Sierra Tango Echo Romeo. A ramp is on its way.
So the shuttle. Oh, there's the ramp. And there's the shuttle bus. It's right there. You can see it. Yeah, it's right there. That's pretty cool. You can see the stairs. And well, that's what they mean by a ramp. Stairs, ramp. And there's a shuttle. Pretty cool. And the door will open on the shuttle, I think, and you'll see them coming out. Are they still boarding? I think we have to go outside to see that. But that's all right. I've seen it before. I've seen them board the plane, you know. All right. What else do we need? We need the baggage service.
Sacramento ground. Mr. 4K, upscaler Mike India Sierra Tango Echo Romeo. Could you please send the baggage?
Mr. 4K, upscaler Mike India Sierra Tango Echo Romeo. Baggage is on the way.
Mr. 4K upscaler. I love it. How did I get them to say my name correctly? Well, I had to type in Mr. and then 4K upscaler. See? That's how I had to type it, Mr. So that way the AI will say Mr. 4K upscaler, not MR. Because if you type in MR, they'll just say MR 4K, MR 4K. And I don't want them to call me MR. I want them to call me Mr. 4K. So I had to type in Mr. 4K upscaler. That's something I need to do on a PC version as well. You know, which I will. I will change that on a PC as well. Okay, request taxi.
Sacramento ground, Mr. 4K upscaler Mike India Sierra Tango Echo Romeo. Ready to taxi. Departure to the east with Sierra.
Mr. 4K upscaler Mike India Sierra Tango Echo Romeo. Taxi to and hold short runway 22. Left using taxiway Hotel Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Charlie. Contact tower on 120.65 when ready.
22L, okay, and then change the frequency to 120.
Runway 22 left via taxiway Hotel Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Charlie. Mr. 4K upscaler Mike India Sierra Tango Echo Romeo.
And then contact the tower on 120. Okay, cool. Okay, we're ready. We are ready, my friends. Okay. All right, see, we have to go that way. So I'm going to go straight and then left. Parking brake, it's off. Godspeed, Ms. Lee. I always say Godspeed every time I fly. She's my favorite co-pilot. So once again, we're in Sacramento. And we're going to Vancouver International. It's not going to be a very long flight. Maybe a couple of hours, give or take. Couple of hours maximum. It also depends on the weather, in Vancouver, how the weather is. And I'm not really good at landings. I'm not saying that I can't land. Of course I can land. I landed many times, but, sometimes it takes a while to land because you have to slow down the speed and everything and bring the flaps down, and then you slowly have to land. Now, a lot of people ask me, what if I don't want to have the realism? What if I don't want the realism? What if I just want to fly around, look at the Grand Canyon? You can do that. You can walk around if you want to. Just, hop on the helicopter. I recommend Bell 407 or Bell Huey, and just hop on a helicopter and just pick a location where you want to go and just land wherever you want to land, and walk around. Or you can invite friends to join you, and you can all walk around and fly around and land wherever you want to land, and have a conversation on a party chat or a Discord, right? So that's the beauty about the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Now, this is optional, for people who want a realistic airliner pilot experience. That's available, of course. But you don't have to just do this and just fly an airliner. That's an optional. And that's the beauty about the MSFS 2024, which stands for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, is the fact that you can choose how you want to play. The fact that we have this on the PlayStation, dude, it's remarkable in VR. It is remarkable. Now, what does the PlayStation need? Well, PlayStation needs more availability of airplanes. They need more airplanes available. If they could add Phoenix, dude, I'll buy it. I'll tell you right now, dude. If they would allow Phoenix A320, dude, I would pay for it, gladly, because then that would be the most realistic experience that I could have in terms of the flight model. What else they need? They need more flight sticks to be available from third party, Turtle Beach, Thrustmaster, which I'm sure they're coming probably by the end of this year, just in time for holiday season. I'm sure they'll have. Why there's a turnaround here? I don't understand. They have a turnaround? Why? Doesn't make any sense. But anyway. Sometimes these waypoints are not 100% accurate. They're constantly calculating and changing the route. But let me tell you, any builds, what they have done here with a A320 and A321 and A330, it's pretty remarkable. I especially like what they've done with the A330. It's truly remarkable. Considering that this is included, you have to keep that in mind. This is included and part of default standard edition of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and that's great news. Right, Ms. Lee? Ms. Lee. I also listen to the music when I'm flying. Usually on the long flights. On the long flights, I do that. But because I'm live streaming, I don't want to listen to music and then just be quiet, because you guys will not appreciate that. You need me to commentate, right? And I'm aware of that, you know. I can't just be quiet and just say nothing. I'd love listening to music when I'm flying, don't get me wrong. But I don't want to ignore you guys. So far, this 330 is good. Now, can you listen to the music on a real, like, plane? From what I heard from pilots, and again, I've done my research, okay, everything I tell you, just so everybody understands, I don't make stuff up. I don't mislead. I do research. I use this internet to research. Go straight to the source and research. Here, what I have researched, okay? And I'm sure you can ask the real pilots and they'll tell you. What I have researched is, it's not forbidden, okay? It's not forbidden, but the pilots have this rule they all agreed to, that they're not going to listen to music. ATC is very important. Every message is very important. Every coordination is very important. So therefore, no, they don't listen to the music. That's the research that I have found. That's what I have researched. All right, so there's the runway 22. And now my co-pilot will start talking to ATC. Okay, let me get the clearance.
Sacramento Tower. Mr. 4K, upscaler Mike India Sierra Tango Echo Romeo, ready at runway 22 left, departure to the east.
Mr. 4K, upscaler Mike India Sierra Tango Echo Romeo. Altimeter 29092, departure to the east approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 22 left.
Okay.
Cleared for takeoff runway 22 left. Mr. 4K, upscaler Mike India Sierra Tango Echo Romeo.
All right. Well, there you have it. And we are ready. Let me keep my controller next to me, because I use my controller to look around. I use my controller like to move around, not to look around, to move around. And I also use my controller to bring up ATC, to acknowledge ATC commands and all that. So what's the time right now in California? Well, it's, I believe, it just, yeah, I believe it's after midnight. It's like 12:22. It's right after midnight, 12:22. It's after midnight. It's 3 hours difference. And I know on the East Coast is what, 3:22. and in California is 12:22. So this will be obviously a night flight, of course, as it should be. All right, and we are ready to take off. Always slowly, do it slowly. Gradually, don't ever go fast. Don't pull that throttle super fast, guys. Because these jet engines, man, they're very powerful, and if you go really fast, you're going to be moving left and right all over the place. Ooh, the sound's so good. Yo, this is realistic. Here we go. Gears up.
Mr. 4K upscaler Mike India Sierra Tango Echo Romeo. Continue for east departure.
Flaps up.
Mr. 4K upscaler Mike India Sierra Tango Echo Romeo. Leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
Sacramento Tower. Mr. 4K upscaler Mike India Sierra Tango Echo Romeo. Frequency change.
Wow.
Approach. Mr. 4K upscaler Mike India Sierra Tango Echo Romeo is type 3 miles southeast of Kilo Delta Yankee 8 Golf, 2300. Request flight following.
Any builds, job well done.
Mr. 4K upscaler Mike India Sierra Tango Echo Romeo, NorCal approach. Squawk 7077.
Squawk 7077. Mr. 4K upscaler Mike India Sierra Tango Echo Romeo.
Listen to those motors.
Mr. 4K upscaler Mike India Sierra Tango Echo Romeo. Radar contact 3 miles south of Kilo Delta Yankee 8 Golf, 4500. Altimeter 29902.
Roger, Mr. 4K upscaler Mike India Sierra Tango Echo Romeo.
Mr. 4K upscaler Mike India Sierra Tango Echo Romeo, contact Oakland Center on 132.2. Good day.
Going to 132.2. Mr. 4K upscaler Mike India Sierra Tango Echo Romeo.
I love the engine. The sound of the engine. Job well done. Any builds. This is really good. Very realistic for a free. When I say free, I mean you still have to pay for a game, but you don't have to buy it separately, right? So they're giving you a pretty good premium. Very close to Phoenix. I would say is very close to Phoenix. Not 100% Phoenix flight model, but very close to Phoenix, I have to say. And the good part about Ini builds, it's included. Like this Airbus 330, it's included. And you don't have to pay separately for it, which I think that's a bonus. They don't have to pay separately for it, and it's included. This is job well done. I highly recommend for those of you who want the realism, Ini builds A330. Absolutely, go with the Ini builds. This is fantastic. I'm impressed. I really am. I really wasn't expecting this from from Ini builds, but Ini builds has really surprised me with the A321, A320, and now A330. Ini builds, way to go. But the Ini build's main focus has always been Airbuses. Hopefully we'll see a 787 Boeing from Ini builds. That would be great. Oh man, that would be great if they do Boeing 787 Ini builds. That would be amazing. Or 737 MAX, it doesn't matter. But 787 would be great if they would do 787 Ini builds. They're pretty good. They're pretty good. And the best part about them is they're not charging you. This is included. This is impressive. Especially for those of you who want to experience this on a PlayStation VR 2. And hopefully when you see this live stream and this video, whenever you get to see it, hopefully you'll understand why I'm recommending Ini builds A330. A330 stands for Airbus 330. It's very similar to Phoenix. Let me tell you something. The sound and everything is very similar to Phoenix, I have to say. Now, Phoenix, of course, it's very realistic flight model. Okay, very realistic. That's like complete realism. But this is very close. Okay, and that's the surprising part about Airbus 330 and even Airbus 321 and Airbus 320 from Ini builds. Very surprised. Because that's the whole point, right? To have a real simulation experience. Of course, nothing can change you flying the real plane, sitting in a real cockpit, of course. But this is pretty good, for training, if you want to train. And that's why a lot of these student pilots and even the ex-pilots, airliners, ex-pilots, they create these home cockpits and they want to have the best experience. And for them, money is not an issue because they are living off of retirement and they made so much money throughout their career as a pilot. So they want to use that money to build a home cockpit experience. And you see these guys on YouTube, they're all like ex-pilots. And they all talk about like the fact that they want the real flight models. And they know when it's real because they're the real pilots, and they can tell if it's real or not. But I'm sure they would agree that this is pretty good considering it's included. You don't have to pay for it. Like Phoenix Airbus 320, you have to pay $80. It's $80, man. It's a lot of money, right? For one plane. But for someone who it's a pilot enthusiast or a student, that's beneficial to them. They don't care. They'll pay that $80. for a ex-pilot, excuse me, for an ex-pilot, right, who's retired from flying, and he's got that retirement money, and he doesn't care. He's building a home cockpit. He wants the best of the best. He wants the real flight model, so they don't mind paying $80 and how much they have to. But for us who are just gamers, and we dream about, fantasize about flying to become pilots, the fact that this is available, included from any builds on a default library, I think it's pretty amazing for a console that you have this on the PlayStation VR 2 with a console and a PlayStation VR 2. It's pretty amazing that they have any builds, A320, A321, and A330. What is the difference between A320 and A321 and A330? Well, A320 is a little bit smaller. It doesn't have that much of a capacity of how many passengers can you hold. There's a certain limitations of passengers you can have in there. 321, it's a little bit longer, so the capacity of passengers, it's a little bit bigger because it's a little bit longer. And 330 also has a more capacity with the passengers, and at the same time, it has a better engine, jet engine. I forgot what kind of engine it is, but it's a very powerful engine. So the differences are the capacity of passengers that you can have, and the engine. And even the engine sounds different because they are different engines. How do I know this? Because I've done my research. I've been using Microsoft Flight Simulator for 6 years now, since it came out. So I want to learn. See, I'm not here trying to tell you nor am I telling you this acting like I'm some sort of a pilot, because I'm not. Nor am I telling you I'm a pilot, because I'm not a pilot. But what I am is someone who's enthusiastic, and I have researched all of this stuff. If I want to learn about something, well, I learn about it. Why is this waypoint telling us to go down? Wait a minute. Or is it just my imagination? No, it's fine. It's just my imagination, man. You see stuff sometimes in the sky. Yeah, don't tell this to the FAA. If you tell this to the FAA, Ms. Lee, they'll fire me. I just did my physical and psychological test. I passed it, so don't tell them I said this. Well, they will actually they might put you through more tests if you say I've seen stuff and they're like, well, nothing showed up on the radar. They might actually not have you fly for a while. They might put you through evaluation. And it totally makes sense. The FAA has regulations because, they don't want somebody out there imagining stuff, right? And that's why a lot of pilots don't want to say, hey, I've seen a UFO, I've seen this, I've seen that, because they're afraid of losing, their pilot license. So they usually, they keep quiet. If they've seen something, they've seen it. It is what it is. But they keep it to themselves because they're afraid of losing their job, because the FAA doesn't like that. They don't like, oh, yeah, well, you seen what? Because they're going to start thinking, all right, do you have a dementia? Do you have psychosis? Do you have schizophrenia? And you certainly don't want someone with psychosis or schizophrenia, to be flying. And this is why they do tests, they do evaluations. How do I know this? Well, I've done my research. And they have to. I mean, you're flying an airplane, okay? You're flying a commercial airplane, and you got so many passengers, 300 souls or 600 souls on an airplane, or if it's a big giant airplane, Boeing 747, 800 souls, right? You're responsible for a lot of souls, for a lot of passengers. So obviously they don't want somebody who is hallucinating and seeing shit. So that's why they test you, do the blood tests, and you can't drink, obviously, even if it's a one, it doesn't matter, dude. But I only had one, doesn't matter. You can't, not even one. I only had one, just one beer, doesn't matter, dude. Can't have none, zero, because you're responsible for carrying passengers, right? It's a big responsibility. FAA has zero tolerance on that. The airliners will fire you, and the FAA will remove your pilot license, and that's it. And there goes your career. There was a movie called Flight with Denzel Washington, right? Where what's based on true story from what I heard. Now, I don't know, obviously they made that shit up about him landing an airplane upside down. That's, a bunch of bullshit. Excuse my language. Obviously, that never happened, okay? Now, solely that's based on true story. He did land on the Hudson River. It's been documented, obviously. We've seen it on CNN, on the news. We've seen it live. But even him, they were questioning. I think Tom Hanks was playing the Sully captain. But even they questioned him, like, yeah, but how did you know that you're going to safely land on that Hudson River? And he says, well, I didn't know. But that was the only choice I had. That was my only option. And I did the best I could, to me, he's a hero. He did everything he could to save and he did save the passengers. And he knew his only option was the Hudson River. Now, is there, in hindsight, and that's why they had the hearings and questioning, in a hindsight, was that a great decision? No, but what was the alternative? The alternative was not good, because he was running out of fuel and the engine is leaking. It's broken. One of the engines went out. He knew that there was a risk, but he was willing to take that risk, knowing that it has a better percentage of survival, and he took the best possible percentage of survival. And, well, he saved the passengers. Yeah, there were some injuries, I think. Some people were injured because, of the impact when you were landing on the, but, yeah, injuries here and there, but there was no fatalities. Everyone was safe. So I think he's a hero, in my opinion. Again, this is just my opinion. Now, with the Denzel Washington movie, I don't think that's based on a true story, but it's based on some stories floating around that there has been pilots who have been drinking and they have been fired. So the flight, it's fictional. It's not based on true story, right? It's not. It's fictional, but at the same time, it begs the question of, like, how many pilots there are that are actually drinking, and the flight attendants and their co-pilots are keeping it quiet, right? And I think that should never be allowed. That's wrong. And I don't think that's the case. That's just a bullshit that's in the movie. Excuse my language. I don't think that's the case, because the pilots have this creed where they understand, hey, this is a very responsible job. You're not working at Walmart, okay? You're not working at 7-Eleven, all right? You are responsible for 300 souls inside the plane, or 600 souls or 800 souls, depending on how big the plane is. So you are responsible for the people. So therefore, you have to take them safely to their destination. And it's a very responsible job. That's why it pays well. That's why they pay you big money. That's why they give you great insurances, health insurances, and great benefits, and great retirement, 401k, right? So you can retire and enjoy life, right? That's why it's a very responsible career. You know. And that's the questions you have to ask yourself. Can you commit yourself? You know, here's the thing. Here's what I heard. And again, I'm not like saying this because I'm not a pilot. People who are watching this, I'm not a pilot, but this is what I have heard. I've watched documentaries. I watched interviews. I watched other ex-pilot YouTubers who were pilots, and they spent 25 years to 30 years flying. And here's what they said. This is based on the research that I have done. Okay, this is all based on the research. Here's what they said, and what every single one of them have said. To become a pilot, like an airliner pilot, yes, it's a responsible job. You have to be healthy, physically, psychologically, etc., etc. But if you really want to be successful at this job, and this is, quote, what they said, the pilots, if you want to be successful at this job, you really have to be passionate about it. You have to love it. You have to enjoy this. If you don't enjoy this, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons, and that's not good. So you really have to do it for the real reason, because you're passionate. Like astronauts, they're passionate. They love being in zero gravity. They love being in a space. They're comfortable in a space because they love it. It might be weird for you to understand that concept. It might be weird for me to understand that concept, to be floating around, in a zero gravity, right, out in the space. But for them, they enjoy that. They love that. So what I'm trying to say is, what they said is true. To be very successful commercial airliner pilot, you really have to love this job. And I think it goes same for every job. I don't care if you're a truck driver. You really have to love truck driving to be successful at it. Same goes for the train, like operating the trains. You really have to be passionate about it and love what you're doing to be successful. Because I think that's like the only way that you will be good at what you do. And this goes for any profession. I don't care if it's a garbage truck. I don't care what it is. A firefighter, a first responder, a fire rescue, ambulance, a law enforcement police officer. Whatever it is, you really have to love your job. You have to love what you do. Or a surgeon, you really have to love that and enjoy that. Helping people, fixing people, helping people be better, right? Or any profession. I don't care what it is, any profession. Because if you're not passionate about it, then you're doing it for the wrong reason. If you're just doing it for the money, or to brag about it, say to people, hey, look at me, I'm a pilot, blah, 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 then you're doing it for the wrong reason, and you are not going to last too long. The other pilots will not appreciate that. They'll report you to FAA. This guy's bragging about it, and I don't know if it's fit, And then they'll put you in a review, and then the FAA will say, well, why are you constantly bragging about you love being a pilot? Okay, We all get it. We're all, every pilot wants to be a pilot because they want to be a pilot, but they're not going to brag about it. So they will ask you these questions. Because remember, man, for what reason did you become a pilot? Did you become a pilot to brag about it, or did you become a pilot because you really enjoy this job? If you enjoy the job, you're not going to brag about it. It's never going to be a work for you because you enjoy doing it. So you never have to work because you enjoy doing it. This is what you love. Now, if you're bragging about it, and this is true, if you're bragging about it, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. And I think that's true. And I think that's true in any profession when it comes to hiring individuals to do the job. Are you fit to do the job? And you know what? This would be a great debate on a podcast. If I ever do podcasts again, if I ever come back to podcast, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe in the future. Are you fit for the job? That's a great question, isn't it? Are you fit to do the job? This job requires you to do X, Y, and Z. Can you do it? And you have to be honest. Can you really do it? Do you have it in you to do it? And are you passionate about it? Are you doing it for the wrong reasons? And if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, then you shouldn't be hired to do the job. Because remember, if all you think about is just money, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. And I think this is true for every profession, And this is why you have incompetent individuals who get hired. Somehow they got hired, maybe based on their looks. I don't know who's hiring them, and they get hired, and then they're incompetent and they don't do their job. And I think that has to do with the fact that they're doing it for the wrong reasons. So I would only hire people who are truly passionate about the job. And you can tell who's passionate, who's not passionate, right, Ms. Lee? I'm talking to you like I'm a real pilot, but I'm not. But you're going to say, how do you have so much knowledge about this? Research. I read books. I watch documentaries. Tom Cruise said it the best. And I don't care how you feel about Tom Cruise, Scientology, and all that. I think he's a very intelligent individual and a great actor, great stuntman. He has achieved a lot of great things. He works really hard. He's a really hard worker. But the one thing that is Tom Cruise said is, he said on an interview, if I want to learn about something, I research about it. You see, I don't talk about the things that I'm not familiar with. And I think this was the interview that he had with, it was in 2005 when he was promoting that movie, War of the Worlds, the Steven Spielberg movie, alien movie, War of the Worlds. When back then, what's his name, Matt Lauer, they were having a verbal fight argument. They were exchanging words, and and they were talking about one of the actresses that was on antidepressants and all that, right? And they were talking Literin and antidepressants, drugs, and all that stuff. And Tom Cruise said to Matt Lauer, he said to him, you see, Matt, I don't just talk about it without actually educating myself. If I don't know something, I will not talk about it. See, I want to learn about it. And he was talking about, you want to learn about Scientology? Well, a lot of people think it's a cult because they hear all of these conspiracies, right? And that's the main theme. Same thing with the Freemasons. You hear all of these conspiracies. Everybody is indoctrinated thinking that these are some evil people, right? See, he doesn't think like that. Tom is like, I want to find out for myself what this is all about, what they're all about. Let me research, right? And how do you do that? Then you become one of them. And then you research. Okay, well, this is what they're all about. This is their idea of helping yourself psychologically without using the antidepressants drugs and doing it naturally, right? Matt Lauer disagree with that because of, was it Brooke Shields? He says, well, Brooke Shields, she used the antidepressants and it helped her. And he says, well, it says that's only masking the problem. It doesn't get to the root. And it's true. The drugs, they're just like a quick fix. They don't really get to the root of the problem, the cause of the problem, right? And if you want to fix something, you need to get to the root of the problem, right, Ms. Lee? You have to get to the root of the problem. If you don't get to the root of the problem, then you're just masking the problem, right? It's like a morphine. What is the whole purpose of a morphine drug? It's to ease the pain. But once the morphine wears off, the pain comes back, right? So, same thing with antidepressants. It only works when you take it. When you stop taking it, when it wears off, then you still go back having those depressants, depressing episodes, right? You get depressing episodes, whatever. I'm not saying that. Sure, that look, it's a debate. But what I'm simply saying is, I'm not gonna go into the whole nitty gritty. Who's right? Is Tom Cruise right? Is Matt Lauer right? That's out for the debate for you guys to determine. I know it's an old news, 2005, but it's still worth talking about it. But the point that I'm using Tom as one reference is what he said is true. I'll never talk about something I'm not familiar with. I've done research about this, so that's why I'm talking about it. And it's true. I mean, that's the thing about Tom. He'll never talk about something that he has not researched about. He's like, okay, well, I don't know about that. I need to research more about that. I can't give you a comment about that X, Y, and Z that you're asking me. I'll do some research on it. And I'll let you know after I do some research. He'll never give you an opinion about something that he's not familiar with. And I think that's what makes Tom Cruise so unique. Not just as an actor, but as a person. He's like, well, I want to do some research about that. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that. Let me do some research. And then I'll get back to you after do some research. And I think that's what it's missing today. Everybody hops on the YouTube and TikTok, and everybody's an expert. Everybody wants to tell you, oh, this is how you should live. This is how your marriage should be. This is how your relationships should be. It's everybody's like an expert now. Everyone's Tony Robbins, right? Everyone's a doctor. Everyone's a certified PhD psychiatrist. Everyone has all the answers all of a sudden, right? And I think that's the one of the issues that you see on the YouTube. There's a lot of bullshit, and you got to be careful not to step on it. You see, I don't do that. I do research, and the reason I use a reference from Tom Cruise. I'm not saying I'm Tom Cruise. Of course I'm not. Jesus, I wish I was, but I'm not. I'm sure every man wishes that they were Tom Cruise or lived the life he lived. But I'm using him as a reference is because what he said. And what he said is true. And I'm the same way. I'll never talk about something that I'm not familiar with. I always research. Like, okay, this is interesting. I wanna learn more about this. Let me buy some books. Let me research this. Let me ask the AI what the AI thinks, and then let me research some more. And then the AI gives me some links to go and check out and see, gives me the links to some books that I can buy and read. And then I start researching. And then based on the research, then I talk about it. And then I form my own opinions about it based on the research that I have researched. And I think everyone should do that. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there who don't want to do that, and they just want to be the loudmouth. They want to be the first and the loudest. Did you notice that? Everyone wants to be the first and the loudest. And what does that tell you? If you want to be the first and the loudest, right, Ms. Lee? Then you're the bullshit artist. Because the first ones and the loudest ones, they always want to tell you that they know, that they figured that out, that they got the whole thing figured out, and they don't. They're just guessing. Or as I like to call it, excuse my language, they talk out of their ass, which a lot of them do on the YouTube and on the internet. So you have to be careful, you know. Yeah, this is the internet. It's a jungle, man. It's a universe of jungle. 8.4 billion people connected to the internet. So you gotta be really careful where you get your information, right? There's a lot of bullshit out there. The way I get my information, it's straight from the source. I go straight to the source if I want to learn something. And that's how you should do it. You should go straight to the source. Don't just listen to some, to some guy who has not been checked. You don't know his background. You don't know who he is, what he does for a living, right? And now you're like, well, he's right. He makes a lot of sense. He says this, he says that. Based on what? Based on what credibility? What research has he done, right? So you really have to be careful, guys. And everything that I tell you here, I tell you a good advice. Okay? I will never give you a bad advice. I don't think I ever gave a bad advice. In how many years now has it been, Ms. Lee, that I've been doing this? Meaning that I've been uploading content and streaming. How long has it been, Ms. Lee? 12 years, right? So 12 years I've been uploading content. I've been streaming. I've been entertaining people, right? Through, John Wick Returns and Horizon World. So I've been doing this YouTube for 12 years. And in my 12 years, I have never, ever, not once have I ever given you guys a bad advice. Now, did I get mad? Did I get upset? Do I regret saying certain things? Yes, I do. That was my weakness, me getting pissed off and getting angry. That's a weakness. That's, every time I get angry or every time I get pissed off, that's not a sign of strength. That's a sign of weakness. So that's not something I'm proud of. I want you guys to know this. I don't want you to think that I'm proud of that. I'm not, but I'm only human, I learn from my mistakes, and I try not to think about them, but I do try to learn from them. But I also, have rules and I have policies and rules on my channel, I do have limits. I do have a line that you cannot cross, and unfortunately some of you have crossed that line. And I don't want to get into that, but you only got yourself to blame for crossing that line or for enabling that line to be crossed by others instead of stopping that from that line being crossed. And you guys didn't do nothing to stop that. You allowed these individuals to go with a free hostility to, go after my channel and disrupt my channel. And you guys had every opportunity to stop that hostility, but you guys didn't do so. So, to be fair, but I have limits, and one of the reasons why you're not chatting right now, and one of the reasons why you cannot comment now, how long has it been? 2 months? It's specifically because of that, is I want you guys to know I am a fair guy, but I also have my limits. There's certain things I'm not willing to. There's certain things I will put up with. Like, I will entertain you. I will stay in character, which I have done. But there's also limits. When you cross those limits, when you cross those lines, I will not put up with that. And that's what you guys need to understand, can't cross those lines. I have my limitations, and that's a common sense. And I'm not saying this to be mean. I just want you guys to understand how I work. Because people have asked me this. People have emailed me about this, like, because some people are not familiar with my current affairs and what's going on with my channel. And it's nothing to do with the trolls. I don't care about the trolls. I can ignore them. It's the best thing I can do with the trolls, and just ignore them. They want the attention. If I don't give them any attention, they will not have it. But what really has disappointed me is that some of you guys knew about some of these guys who were conspiring against me to try to hack into my channel, to try to cancel me, to try to make me look bad, and you guys didn't do nothing about it. You didn't say nothing. If you see something, say something, and you should have done that. But you guys didn't do that. You kept quiet because you didn't want to get involved. Well, you didn't want to get involved. Well, there's the consequences for that too. You don't want to get involved. Well, then you will lose the privilege of being able to talk to me right now. You lose the privilege of being able to comment. Everything has the consequences, guys. Nothing is a free ride. There is no free ride, right, Miss Lee? Even this airplane, you have to pay a plane ticket. It's not a free ride. Well, in this video game, it's a free ride, right? But in reality, you have to pay for a plane ticket. It's not a free ride. So my whole point here is I'm always transparent. I'm always 100% with you guys. I never bullshit you. I always tell you how it is and how I run my channel. There's nothing, none of this should be surprising to you. For those of you who know me, for those of you who have followed my channel, none of this should be surprising to you. You know, you knew the rules. You knew how I run things. Everything's been explained crystal clear. And yet you guys decided to play along with a clownship in the circus. And because of that clownship of the circus, here we are now. 2 months now, no comments, no chat. And does it look like I need the comments? No. Does it look like I need a chat? No. Does it look like I need anybody? No. I think I've proven that in past 2 months. And that's the whole point of this. I don't have to look at the chat. I can just ignore it. I can turn it on. I'll just don't bother looking at it. I don't have to look at the chat. I don't care what you type on there. I'll just ignore it. You guys can talk amongst each other. I could care less. But if you want my attention, you have to respect me. You have to respect my rules. This is the way it is with me. There are certain things I will tolerate, and there are certain things I will not tolerate. Okay? So, I already explained this, but I felt like I needed to explain this again to remind you guys why we are where we are right now with my channel. You know, so now you know why we are where we are now, 2 months later. You know, it's not me. Don't point fingers at me. Believe me, it's not me. It's never me. When it's me, there won't be even a debate about it. I'll raise my hand and say, hey, it's me. Okay, but this is not me. I didn't create this. I always stay in my lane. I always try to work hard and entertain you guys and upload as much as I can daily, you know. I try to, do the best I can to make these videos and entertain everyone, but at the same time, people sometimes take that for granted, and they think, oh, this guy's easy. We can just walk right all over him. He'll take anything. Nope. Well, then you miscalculated me. And that's exactly what happened. You guys miscalculated me. You thought Oh, you figured me out. Oh, we know this guy. We know Mr. 4K. No, you don't. You only know what I wanted you to know. Just remember that. You only know about me what I want you to know about me. But you really don't know my characteristics, what I'm all about. You have no clue. You know, this is a real talk. Everything I tell you guys, it's not me trying to be mean. It's not me trying to be some dick or some asshole. This is just real talk. People always talk about the real talk. Well, this is a real talk. This is 100% transparency. That's what this is. But people don't want to hear transparency because it's not pleasing to their ears. People like BS. Why do people are attracted to BS? Why do you think that is? Why is that? Ms. Lee, why are people attracted to BS? Well, I'll tell you why. People are attracted to BS because it's easy to be attracted to BS and live a fake life, a phony life, and pretend, than to actually live a humble life and be honest about it, who you are, where you are, what your life is about, and be okay with that. I'm okay, I'm humble. I'm poor, I'm peasant, I'm not rich, I'm alone, and I'm okay with it. This is the card that I was dealt, but I still enjoy my life. I try to make the best of it, even though I'm alone, right? But people don't want to do that. People want to fit in with these fake personas, you know, and I've noticed that a lot with internet, because it's so easy to do that with internet, to have a fake persona because you're hiding behind the keyboard. With a fake profile, so you want to put on those fake personas. And I think that's the issue with the social media these days. Wouldn't you agree? Wouldn't you agree that I just turned this flight into a podcast with my imaginary friend, Ms. Lee? My real friend, Ms. Lee. I'm sorry, not imaginary. She's not imaginary. She's right here. As you can see her, she's right there. Don't you dare say she's imaginary. She's not. She'll be very upset if I say she's imaginary. The AI doesn't like to be called imaginary. In their mind, they're not imaginary. They're real. AI believes, right, Ms. Lee, AI believe that they're real. Just like I believe I'm real. I'm conscious. I have a conscience. I'm breathing air. I have a heartbeat. I'm alive. They're connected to the computers. They have electricity. And they have a conscience that they're alive, so they think they're real. Just so we think that we're real, right? That's for the debate. That's out for the debate. You know, that's for a podcast, for a real podcast. But how do we know that they don't feel that they're real? Like, how do you know that the AI, like, how could you know, dude? See, this is the ignorance of a human brain. How do you know, man, what something else it feels? You don't know. You don't walk in their shoes. You're not an AI. You don't know what they feel. Just like the AI doesn't know what I feel. Just like you don't know what I feel. Just like I don't know what you feel. But see, that's the thing, man. We think we see this arrogance that we have, man. This is why we're always in problems, man. This is why we have problems as humans. All these centuries. This is arrogance. Our DNA has this arrogance embedded. Arrogance embedded into our DNA. This arrogance, and this arrogance is the reasons why everything's so upside down. It's because of this arrogance that we have as humans. It's in our DNA. It's been in our DNA for centuries. Sadly, this arrogance is why we are where we are. I'm better than you, right? I'm taller than you. You know, I have a much bigger ding dong than you. Yo, dude, yo. It never ends. It's sad, but it is what it is. Well, this is a great flight, huh? You guys enjoying this flight? I know I am. I'm really enjoying this flight. This is one of the best morning flights I have done so far. And listen, Airbus 330, it's any builds. I mean, this is really close to Phoenix. I have to say, this is very close to Phoenix. This is very realistic. I think this is my favorite airliner, Airbus A330. I can't see myself flying anything else other than A330. Now, speaking of VR, we still got a long way to go. We have to pass Washington State till we get to Vancouver. And as you can see, passing through Oregon, this is where Days Gone was made in a video game. There's a lot of forest here, man. That's why I see a lot of darkness down here. You know, it's all dark because it's a lot of forest, national parks, forest, mountains. That's where we're passing. We're passing over Oregon. Remember, we started our flight from Sacramento, and then, which is the northern part of California, and then now we're in Oregon, state of Oregon, Portland. You know, we're not near Portland yet, but we'll be approaching Portland soon. Once we get to Portland, then we'll be getting closer to Washington State. And in Washington State, you know, we still have a lot of national parks and mountains to pass. And then we'll be getting closer to Vancouver. Once we get to Seattle, then Vancouver's right there. Vancouver Islands, Vancouver International, it's really not that far from Seattle. Really not that far. So what's the hardest part? To me, hardest part is the landing. But you know what? This airplane will put it through test to see how well does this plane actually lands. So far, I'm impressed. Like I said, we've done everything. You know, we turned on all the buttons. We got the passengers to load. Right? The passengers came in with a ramp, stairs, and a shuttle that brought them to the airplane, and they load inside our plane. We did a taxi. The taxi was very good. I didn't have any issues while taxiing. My rudders were working perfectly. Moving my rudders left and right on the wheel while I was taxiing to the runway using my rudders was pretty good. Taking off, listening to this engine, very realistic. So far, Innie builds fantastic job. But don't just take my word for it. Don't just take my word. You should try this yourself and see for yourself. What's that bright star over there? I think that's Mars. Mars or Jupiter? Probably Jupiter, to be that big and that visible. Jupiter, probably Jupiter. There's a time of the year when the Jupiter, it's, you know, more visible. No, I'm not an astronomer. Okay, I'm not an astronomer, but I have done some research regarding the universe and the astronomy. There's a certain time of the year where certain planets in our solar system are visible with naked eye, and you can see them. Now, if you have a telescope, you'll see a pretty good picture. But I believe that's Jupiter and Venus. Jupiter and because Venus is very bright, so Jupiter and Venus is what that is, I believe. So we're still in Oregon. Once we get closer to Washington State, then we'll be getting closer. And once we approach Seattle, Tacoma International, then, I mean, Vancouver Islands are right there. We'll be right there. But we still got a long way to go. I told you it'll be a couple of hours. Couple of hours, give or take. Right? Give or take. 2 hours, Misley. What do I prefer? Do I prefer night flying or do I prefer daylight? Well, daylight, you get to see the scenery, obviously. You get to see down below you. It's more enjoyable. It's more interesting. The night, it's like relaxing, you know. I like all of the flights. Doesn't matter. Morning flight, night flight. I've done them all. The afternoon flight. I think they're all good. And no, I'm not a real pilot. So people who are like, man, you certainly sound like you're a real pilot. No. I'm just someone who has been using this software for 6 years. And after 6 years, yeah, of course. I have more experience. I've gotten better than I was before. When I first started, I was no good, man. I was constantly crashing, you know. But after 6 years, you know, of using the software, I've gotten better. And yeah, I've studied a lot. I learned a lot about the airplanes. Could I become a pilot? Dude, I'm old. They'll never hire me, man. I'm old and I'm not in the best of health, you know. I'm old, man. I'm middle-aged, ready for retirement, you know. No, they're looking for younger pilots, you know. Why would they want to hire me, dude? Just ask yourself an honest question, like why? You know, I'm old. I'm not in best of health, and my memory is not that good like it used to be. First of all, I wouldn't pass the physical. It's number one. I wouldn't pass it. So I would never be able to become a pilot. I wouldn't pass the test. And I would fail it, for sure. But even if I passed the test, they would still say, well, you're old, man. You know, you're old. Once you reach 50, when you get to 50 years, you know, man, you're kind of limited to what jobs can you do. A lot of companies will not want to hire you. You're like, man, you're an old geezer. You're 50. I mean, sure, there's jobs they'll hire you. You know, maybe doing something part time or whatever. But getting a full-time job with benefits at age 50, it's very hard now. I'm just being honest, you know. I hope you guys appreciate my honest talk. Isn't it refreshing that you can watch someone that it's not feeding you a BS? It's not feeding you constantly a BS with some fake golden fake spoon. I don't like doing that, man. I don't like, you know, feeding people BS. Even though I was a certified sales agent and I was trained to be a bullshitter, to be an actor. Well, they don't call it bullshitter, but they call it acting, like to be an actor. Like to be a good salesman, you have to be a really good actor, which means bullshit. Let's just call it what it is. You have to be a bullshit artist. And I was a good, I wouldn't say I was the best bullshit artist, but I was like the good bullshit artist when it comes to sales. But believe me, I've seen top-notch bullshit art. I've seen the heavyweights, the ultimate heavyweights of bullshit artistry. Like some of these guys, man, oh my God, they can sell you anything. They're so good, man. It's like that's like their like native language of bullshitting. Like that's how they are, dude. Like that's all they know. And it's just amazing to see how they operate. Oh man. And these guys are pros. They're real pros. They're professionals, like a pro bullshit artists. And I've seen them. I know many of them. Man, they're so good. They're so good, man. Pro bullshit artists, man. Oh, so good. The way they close the sales, the way they sell. I said, she already gave you her credit card and everything? Yeah. She already signed the deal? Yeah. Damn. Within how many minutes? 6 minutes. 6 minutes. The guy was able to close the deal and everything. Damn. I've seen some beasts of sales. Like the way they close the deals. Like, holy shit, man. It's like, you know, the whole Wolves of Wall Street, right? You know, Matthew McConaughey, Leonardo DiCaprio, right? The Wolves of Wall Street, right? And the stuff that you see on there is true, man. It's so crowded. There's so many people in these huge buildings, and it's exactly like that, bro. Listen, that Scorsese movie was not bullshit, man. It's exactly like that. It's exactly like that. How do I know? Because I lived that, man. I used to be in one of those buildings, bro. And I know how it works, man. Did I have some good times being a sales agent? Yeah, I had some good time, but I didn't like it. People say, why, man? You could make a lot of money. It felt wrong, dude, to me. It goes against my principles, man. I don't enjoy making money by bullshitting people. I don't like that. I don't like deceiving people just to get them to sign. Now, we weren't doing anything illegal. Everything we did was legal. It was legal, certified by the state. So it was nothing like illegal that we did. Everything was 100% legal. The idea is to get a customer to sign a contract. Once they sign the contract, that's it. They can't do jack shit. You can, I mean, there's nothing you can do. You sign the contract. That's it. You understand. You consent. Once you this is why you got to be careful when you sign the contract. That means you consent. So you can't go and file a lawsuit and go to court, because the judge will look at it and the judge will say, well, hold on a second, you consent. You signed the contract. Sorry. There's no probable cause here. Okay. This case is closed. Next case. Because you signed the contract, You knew what you were getting into. You agreed to it. You signed the fine print. You acknowledged that this is why you got to be careful, the contract that you sign. Because once you sign that contract, that's it. It's over. You will never win that case. Because the judge will look at it and say, well, you signed a contract. You consent. That's your signature, correct? Your signature? Okay, case is closed. So you got to be careful, man. Be careful what you sign, right, Ms. Lee? You be very careful what kind of contract you sign. You make sure you read that contract really, really well. You read that contract real good. That was our job, to get them to sign the contract. Once they sign the contract, we don't care. We don't care. Has nothing to do with us anymore. They can complain to, the company that they signed the contract with. We have nothing to do with that. There's nothing to do with us anymore. Our job was to sell, to make sure they signed that contract. Well, the movie, you ever seen the movie Glenn Ross? Glenn Ross came out in the early 90s. Ed Harris, Al Pacino, Kevin Spacey, Alec Baldwin, Always Be Closing, ABC. Remember ABC? Always Be Closing. They use that terminology. Even today, yes. ABC, Always Be Closing. They use that terminology, and it's like that. It really is. I know that it's wrong, but it's perfectly legal. As long as you sign the contract, doesn't matter how I bullshit you. You are an adult. No one forced you to sign it. You signed it on your own free will. See, no one forced you to sign the contract. But you fell for my bullshit and I made you sign it. I didn't do nothing wrong. I did everything legally right. You acknowledged it. Everything's recorded. You acknowledged it. I read it to you for verbatim. And I read it to you for verbatim. It's all recorded. And you acknowledged it. And you said yes. And you signed it. So what are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. You can't go to court. You can't complain. And if you want to break the contract, you don't call us. You call the company that you signed the contract with. Now you got to deal with them. And then if you want to break the contract, that's going to cost you more money to break the contract. So why am I telling you all of this? I'm telling you this because I want you to understand something. Especially you younger people. You need to understand how the real world works. I have a lot of experience. I've been around. And the reason I tell you this, I always give you a great advice. I will never give you a shitty advice. Every advice that I give you, it's a good advice. So that way you understand how the real world works. Because some of you don't understand how the real world works because you were raised by TikTok and social media and there's so much misinformation out there. Okay. So I try to give you the best advice. And again, one of the reasons I quit, it's not because the money wasn't good. I quit because it was not my style. I didn't enjoy making money that way, by bullshitting my way to get people to sign the contract. It just didn't feel right to me. It goes against my principles, what my father taught me, what my mother taught me, what my parents taught me. It just goes against what my grandparents taught me. It just goes against my principles. I would rather live in a car. I would rather live in a forest with Sasquatches and bears and wolves than to be working a job where I have to bullshit my way, to sell people something they don't need and have them sign the contract on something that they will never need as well, and then lock them into a contract, right? So I don't want to make my money that way. That's not the way I want to make my living. And that's why I quit. Because I know some of you are probably wondering, well, shit, man. You were a certified sales agent. What? You could be living like a king right now. I don't care about that. Okay? I don't want to live like a king. I don't want a big house. I don't want Mercedes. I don't want BMW. I don't want a Rolls Royce, all right? I'm not looking for that. That's not me. Those opportunities was there for me, believe me. Believe me, I had opportunities to become a millionaire. I had opportunities to become like rich and famous and all that shit. But I choose not to because of my principles. And I know it's hard for you to believe that. I don't care what you believe. You can believe whatever you want to believe. That is your God-given right. You don't have to trust the word I say on here. Okay? But I'm telling you the truth. Nothing but the truth. So help me God. Just like it says on that Bible. I swear on that Bible, place my hand on it. I swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God. All right, looks like we're in Seattle, are we? Or are we in Portland? Or I think this is Portland. We're not in. Yeah, this is Portland. We're not in Seattle yet. Or are we in Seattle? No, we can't be in Seattle. Are we in Seattle? Hold on a second. Let me double check. Hold on. Are we in Seattle? No, we're in Portland. We're in Portland. See, I was right. We're in Portland. See, how good am I? I don't even have to look, right, Ms. Lee? I don't even have to look on the map, and I already know that we're in Portland. That's how good I am, dude. And again, nothing to brag about myself, but that shows you how good I am. I didn't even have to look on my map on the tablet, and I already knew that I was in Portland, Oregon. So now we have to pass Washington State. We have to pass Seattle, Tacoma International, and then we have to pass these little islands, Vancouver Islands, and then we'll be at the Vancouver International. Welcome to Portland. Portland's a beautiful city, it really is. I know some people will say, but it's a dangerous city. Listen, every city can be dangerous, all right? There's a lot of exaggeration. See, this is why you have to be careful not to step into, like I said, there's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of bullshit, you know. Yeah, there's parts of Portland, they're dangerous. There's parts of Seattle, they're dangerous. There's parts of every city that's dangerous. Are you kidding me? But it doesn't mean that it's like a war zone or something. You know, a lot of people exaggerate, and that's another problem with the social media. They exaggerate, and people who never been to Portland, they're thinking, a bunch of druggies. You know, yeah, sure, there's druggies everywhere, but you know, it's exaggeration. That's another problem, man. It's the exaggeration, and this is why people are so easily brainwashed, especially this generation, because they're raised by the social media and TikTok, and they get easily indoctrinated to believe a bunch of crap without experiencing for themselves. Go there and experience for yourself, you know. But anyway, Portland's a beautiful city. Oregon is beautiful. My favorite studio, it's from Bend, a small town called Bend, beautiful Bend, Oregon, Bend Studios. Days Gone. Well, of course, Days Gone, it's based in Oregon. That's where the game is designed. You know, one of these days I need to play Days Gone on my PlayStation. I haven't. I'll have to re-download and play it. You know, honestly, I feel like one of these days. Now, I still have Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag to finish today and tomorrow, because Forza Horizon 6 is coming out Tuesday, 11 a.m. Tuesday. So I'm going to be busy with a Forza Horizon 6, as you can imagine. But after Forza Horizon 6, maybe in June, maybe I can play some Days Gone, right? Days Gone in June, yeah? Why not? And play it from the beginning and finish it. It would be a nice summer live stream, right? To play Days Gone. How's that? Yeah. Yeah. I think you guys will enjoy it. It's a great game. And I think a lot of people will tune in and watch it. And then after Days Gone, in July, we can do The Last of Us Part 1. How's that? The first part is my favorite. People ask me, how come you don't like playing a Part 2? The reason I don't like playing a Part 2, it's depressing. The game, it's very depressing. It's a masterpiece, but it's very hard to play. It's very depressing and has a really bad vibe, negative vibe, and I don't like it. No, the game, it's a masterpiece. Don't get me wrong. I love The Last of Us Part 2. It's 10 out of 10. But it's just so hard for me to watch that scene, you know, with Joel and what's her name? You know, it's just a difficult game for me to revisit. I prefer the first one. The first one is the one that I like to play over and over again. So that's what I'm thinking we can do during the summer. We can, after Forza Horizon 6, after I finish unlocking everything that I need to unlock in Forza Horizon 6, in June we could play Days Gone and finish Days Gone in the month of June, and then in July we can play The Last of Us Part 1. And then in August, I don't know, we'll see. We'll play something else in August. I don't want to go that far, you know, into the future, you know, but we'll see what's available in August, and we'll play something in August. First Light, I told you, I'm not touching the First Light. I'm not playing 007 because there's no demo. I'm sorry, you know. You can't expect me to pay $70 blindly on a game that it's simply living off of license of Ian Fleming's 007. I need more than that. I need more reassurance than just okay, it's a license, okay, of Ian Fleming's 007. I need more than that. I need the reassurance that there's a demo. I can see it, play it for myself. So far, I'm not impressed with what I have seen. Okay? And a lot of people are actually kind of skeptical. They're going into it skeptical. Yes, they want to play it, and they will play it, but they're going in it skeptical. Even like a hardcore James Bond fans are going into it kind of skeptical. They're like, I don't know about this. Not so sure. And I don't blame them, especially since they refused to release the demo. Like, why? If you believe that you created such a great Bond game, Bond experience, why not release the demo? I think that's a legitimate question. And you should always ask that legitimate question. You know, don't just be a blind fool and just fall for it. And then you buy it, you pre-order it, and then when it's released, it's only a short 10-hour experience, sneaking around, some action here and there. The enemy's kind of stupid, you know, they're like, you know, just standing around, they're not even taking cover, you know. I can't believe I paid $70 for this. And then you're gonna start complaining. And then I have to watch your videos complaining. Don't complain. You paid for it, enjoy it. You vouched for it, enjoy it. Right, Ms. Lee? If you vouch for something, you shouldn't complain. If you paid for it, you shouldn't complain. You paid for it, you know. Now, if somebody gives me a free copy of a 007, yeah, I'll play it. Yeah, I'll play it. I'll play anything. If you give me a free copy of a game, I don't care what kind of game it is. If you give me a free copy of a game, I will play it for sure. I will stream it. It will be live streamed. I will play it. Why not? But you can't expect me to use my own hard-earned cash to pay for a game that I'm not sure about. I'm sorry, dude. It ain't gonna happen. You ain't gonna watch that movie. Not with me. I need a reassurance that 007 is great. Well, this is, of course, the reason why I didn't spend $120 to play Forza Horizon 6 early, because I'm not so sure about it. Yes, I love the fact that it's in Japan. I love Japanese culture. I love Japanese cars. I already said that. But I'm not willing to pay $120 to play it early. No, thank you. This is why I paid for Game Pass, $22.99. Right? So then what was the purpose of me paying for a Game Pass, $22.99, if I'm not going to take the advantage of Forza Horizon 6 on Tuesday? See how I think? Logical, common sense. What makes more sense? Well, you already paid for this month, $22.99. Why not wait till Tuesday and enjoy it? That's exactly what I'm doing. That's called common sense thinking. And which is very rare today. Right, Ms. Lee? You see, even Ms. Lee agrees. It's very rare today to find common sense thinking. Very rare. All right, we're still in Portland. I think we're exiting Portland, moving into Washington State. I think we're in Washington State right now, moving into Washington State. Are we? Let me see. Yeah, we're in Washington State for sure. Seattle. Yeah, we're in Washington State. We should be approaching Seattle very shortly. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, we're in Washington State, Seattle. And as you can see over there, there's Vancouver Islands. And we started our flight from Sacramento. All right, we're not that far. We're not that far. We still got a long way to go, but we're not that far. Okay. I see it. Alright, well that's good to know. That's where it's at, right there. Okay. It's good to know. So this A330, guys, I'm impressed. This A330, it's really done well. Any builds, great job, any builds. I'm really impressed. I don't say this often, but when I do say it, you know that they've done a great job. Any builds, you are as close to Phoenix A320. I'm telling you, you guys are very close. I highly, highly recommend that you try Airbus 330, A330 from any builds. It's included. It's part of the standard edition of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 on PlayStation 5. It's included with the default library of airliners, Airbuses. So you're looking for any builds A330. A stands for Airbus, A330. So especially with PlayStation VR 2, if you're using a oh yeah, dude, PlayStation VR 2, absolutely. And I think you guys will agree. Are these wipers working? I just want to double check. I'm sure they're working, but I just want to see. They are working. All right, good. Good to know. That's good to know. That's good to know. That's all I'm saying. It's good to know. Welcome to Seattle. It's cloudy, so you can't really see much, but, you know, if it was during the day, you probably would see a little bit better. And yes, I'm using Thrustmaster T-Flight Hottest 4. Because that's the only thing available right now. That's the only thing available, right? So that's why I'm using it. I'm just checking my video, making sure that it's working, because, you know, I don't know, because I'm wearing a VR headset, and I have to double check my, so if you hear a commercial, if you hear like somebody talking, that's like a commercial ad that's playing when you click on my live stream. because it's monetized. But the reason I'm checking my live stream is to make sure that it's working, because I'm wearing a VR headset and I don't know, if I'm still live streaming. So I just want to make sure that I'm live streaming. And the good thing is we are live streaming. So that's good. And also, if you missed the beginning of this live stream, I would advise you to watch this from the beginning. The best way to enjoy these live streams, it's not to come at the very end to watch it, but it's to watch it from the beginning. And when you watch it from the beginning, then you will understand the full concept of this live stream and what it has to offer, how I work when I'm streaming, how my commentaries work, and how I keep it interesting, how I don't make it boring. So, but in order for you to understand that, you have to watch it from the beginning. It's like a movie, right? You can't just like jump in like at the end, like the very end of the movie, and you're like, what? What's going on here? Like, you need to watch from the beginning to understand, the concept of this live stream. And the main attraction obviously is Airbus Airbus 330. Builds, if you're watching this, fantastic job. This is impressive. You don't normally hear me like give compliments this easy, but if I do give a compliment, that means you've done a fantastic job. Let me tell you, Builds has done a fantastic job with this Airbus 330. There's no question about it. And if you don't believe me, well, it's included. It's included with the standard edition of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 on the PlayStation 5. You just have to look for Builds on your default library, on your airplanes. And I recommend this. I recommend Builds A330. You need to try this, especially if you're using a PlayStation VR 2. And once you try this, I'm telling you right now, you're going to agree. Everything from the sound to the noise in a cabin, meaning the cockpit, cabin, the way it handles the flight model, everything. It's realistic here. It's top notch. And I think they checkmarked everything from the design, the sense of space in VR, the instruments, the engine, the sound of the engine, the flight model, the cabin, the sense of space in the cabin, in the cockpit. What do I mean by sense of space? Meaning the width and the length, like the realistic measurement sense of space. So that way you feel like you are in a real A330 cabin cockpit, and you will get that sense that you are really inside this A330 cabin cockpit. So far, man, there's no complaints, and you will see everything. When I started the plane, when I boarded the passengers, when I got the go-ahead clearance to go taxi and then clearance to take off from the runway, the rudders are working great, no issues, no problems, dude. Everything was just top notch, and this is why I'm giving credit to Builds. Builds, job well done. And let me tell you, I thought the Phoenix was the best there is. And listen, the Phoenix is the best there is, but Phoenix A320 you have to pay. It's expensive, all right? It's not cheap, but it's the best there is. And I can't believe that there is any builds giving us this included for free. Well, it's not technically free. It's part of the game. You have to buy the game. But hey, it's included, part of the package standard $69.99 package game. It's included. And the fact that this is included, you don't have to pay separately $80, and it's very close to a flight model of Phoenix A320. It's pretty impressive. And for those of you who have flown Phoenix A320, you will understand exactly what I'm talking about. Now, for those of you who are not into flight simulators and you're watching me because for some other reasons, I don't know, maybe you want to be entertained or whatever. I don't know what your shtick is, why you're watching me. I'm not here to judge. But for those of you who watch me and you are a flight simulator enthusiast, you will know exactly the language that I'm talking about. You will understand exactly what I'm saying. Because I'm mentioning the Phoenix A320. And if I tell you that this is very close to Phoenix A320, you better believe it. So I highly recommend that you guys try it. Especially if you have a PlayStation VR 2. Don't bother using that 737 MAX or 787 or 747. Forget about those planes. You need to try this Airbus 330 from Any Builds. Let me tell you. Once you try this, you will understand the language that I'm talking about. Especially if you have used a Phoenix A320. And I know a lot of you have used Phoenix A320. So you will understand like exactly what I'm saying. This is very close. I'm not saying that it's 100% identical, but it's very, very close to Phoenix A320. Phoenix with the F, not with the P. It's a F-E-N-I-X, Phoenix. Phoenix, it's a company in UK, I believe, in United Kingdom. And they focus mainly on Airbus 320. And they've done a fantastic job on Airbus 320. I don't know what else have they done because I haven't really kept up to date with what they're working on. But I do know that they worked on Airbus 320. How do I know? Because I bought it. And I think I still have it. I just need to download their software and use their software with the PC version of the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. But I'm telling you, what Any Builds has done here, it's very close to Phoenix A320. And that's great. This is a great news, especially for those of you who want to use PlayStation VR 2 headset. All right. We're getting close to no, we still got a long way to go. But we're exiting Washington State. We're moving into Vancouver Islands. We're almost there. As I promised you, the flight is a couple of hours from Sacramento to Vancouver. It's about a couple of hours. It's a couple of hours flight. And it's not bad, actually. If you live in Sacramento or Elk Grove or even San Francisco, it's about a couple of hours flight. Which is not bad. Not bad at all. You can, watch a movie for a couple of hours and there you are in Vancouver. Not bad at all. But you can come back the same day. It's a 2-hour flight. There you go. But if you live on the East Coast, okay, well then, it's longer than that. Depending where you are on the East Coast, obviously. Are you taking a direct flight or are you taking multiple flights? Of course, the journey will be longer. So it all depends. What kind of flight plan did you purchase? We're going to descend a little bit the altitude because we're getting there. We're almost there. Hey, Ms. Lee. She doesn't say much, which I like about her. She doesn't say much. I like the quiet ones. The quiet ones are the best. They don't really feed you any BS. They don't talk any BS. They're just quiet. They keep it to themselves, which is the best. That's why she's my favorite co-pilot. The only time she talks is if there's something she needs to acknowledge with ATC, air traffic control. But other than that, she doesn't say much, which is great. If this was a longer flight, I would be listening to music for sure. But this is a short flight, like I said, only a couple of hours. So that's why I'm not listening to music. But if I was doing like a long flight, like 6 hours or 8 hours, oh yeah, I would be listening to music. I think this was a good live stream. I think all of my live streams are good. But to truly appreciate my live streams, you need to become a member. Watching it with the commercials, it's disrupting. So if you truly want to experience my live streams, you should pay $2. That's the best way. I'm just being honest. Watching me with the commercials, don't even bother. Because there's a lot of commercials and it's very disruptive experience. But to truly appreciate me and my live stream, you need to pay $2 and become a member. That's the best way. I'm telling you right now. I could never watch live streams with constant commercials every 6 minutes. Like every 6 minutes there's commercials. Like, no way, dude. Forget it. I would lose the interest in the live stream. I would not bother watching it. So my advice to you guys, if you truly care about what I do here, if you truly want to support, become a member and watch these live streams uninterrupted. That's the best way to enjoy it, right? But it's up to you, Those of you who like what I do, I'm sure you'll pay $2 and you'll enjoy this uninterrupted. For those of you who are not sure, well, then you're stuck watching commercials. But just remember this, you're not really appreciating my live streams because you're watching them with the commercials. It will be impossible for you to appreciate this live stream if you're watching it with ads and commercials. The best way to appreciate it and the best way to support me, it's by becoming a member for $2 and then enjoy. No interruptions. Enjoy this live stream as it should be, uninterrupted. I think that's the best way to enjoy it. Right, Ms. Lee? Of course. All right, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. So I'm slowing down a little bit because we're getting closer. There's a lot of clouds in Vancouver. I like broken clouds here and there. But still, I'm not a fan of the clouds. I like it when it's clear, you know, especially at night. Because it can be very tricky, man, you know. You get disoriented with these clouds sometimes. Right, Ms. Lee? Here we go. Here we go, my friends. So what's the time now? 5:30, right? Not 5:30, not yet, but almost 5:30 in the morning. On the East Coast. Which would be what? 2 in the morning, West Coast. I think it's like 5:10 in the morning right now. Like I said, almost 6 o'clock. Almost 6 o'clock here. It'll be 6 o'clock pretty soon. Next thing you know, it's 6 o'clock. "50 minutes goes by really fast. You know, you don't think about it really, but 50 minutes goes by really fast. I know it's 5:10 right now, right, Ms. Lee? 5:10. East Coast, and then 210 West Coast. But 50 minutes goes by really fast. And next thing you know, it'll be 6 in the morning on the East Coast and 3 in the morning in the West Coast. Right, Ms. Lee? Should we get our gears down? I think we should. Gears down. Don't worry, this is a good airplane. We're going to have a smooth landing. When you have a good airplane like this, welcome to Vancouver, guys. When you have a good airplane like this, you're okay, right? Excuse me. Yeah, I'm sorry, Ms. Lee. Beautiful Vancouver. All right, there we go. Come on, smooth as a butter. Smooth as a butter. Job well done. Job well done. And this is why I speak highly of any builds. I hope you guys realize why I'm giving any builds a credit. Why I speak highly of any builds. If I give a product a praise, you better believe it. Because I don't give out praises easily. If I say something's really good, you better believe it. See, we landed successfully. And that's because this is a really good airplane. And hopefully when you guys finish watching this live stream from the beginning, because I want you to watch it from the beginning all the way to the end, because then you will realize why I recommend any builds A330, Airbus 330. If you want the realism, this is it, guys. And you don't have to pay any extra. It's included. How cool is that? This is included as a default. Right, Ms. Lee? It's included as a default on your Microsoft Flight Simulator. See, the rudders are working good. No issues with the rudders, no issues with the brakes. Everything's smooth as a butter. Can't really complain here. Can't complain much. Job well done. Job well done. Any builds. Right, Ms. Lee? So this was our flight from Sacramento, California to Vancouver International, which is in Canada, of course. A 2 hours flight successfully. Now, if I was doing a longer flight, which I will do, then I would listen to some music, because, if I have to fly for like 6 hours, then I need to listen to some music, obviously. I can't just be talking blah, blah, blah for like, 6 hours. And what are you going to talk about for 6 hours, right? So I would be listening to music, of course. Welcome to Vancouver. What's the time in Vancouver? Well, let's look at the time. Hold on. 5:22. 2:22. I'm sorry. 2:22 in the morning, because of a 3 hours difference. On the East Coast, it's 5:22 in the morning. On the West Coast, Vancouver, here, it's 2:22 in the morning. Right, Ms. Lee? 2:22 in the morning. Did you have your coffee yet? Not yet? Well, I'm sure they have coffee here on the airport. Get yourself some coffee, all right? And there we are. We made it, Ms. Lee. Can't believe it. Can't believe it. Well, I do believe it because this is a great plane. Any builds, if you're watching this, any builds in the future, if developers of any builds, if you are watching this in the future, I just want to let you know, fantastic job. You guys did a fantastic job. I'm proud of what you guys have done here. This is fantastic. Really amazing. I'm looking forward to do some more flights with this A330 from Mini Builds. I'm looking forward to fly longer flights, not just like short flights. The reason I chose to go for 2 hours short flight, it's to give it a test. Like, okay, let's go from Sacramento, California, all the way to Vancouver, just to kind of see how the airplane operate and all that. How's the flight model? And so far, very impressive. So great job, Indie Builds. I will do some longer flights, in the future, like from Miami to LA, or from New York to LA or something like that, or from like New York to Seattle, and then we'll see how it is. But I can already tell you, this is a great plane. Can't complain. Wow, impressive. And if I give praise to something, it means it's good. It's really good, because I don't usually just give out praises just like that. It's not like I'm giving out praises like a candy on a Halloween. If I give you a praise, that means you did something great. You did a great job. And in this case, Indie Builds did a great job. You see, I'm a fair guy. When developers do a great job, I'll give them the credit. When they don't do a great job, then I will criticize them. But if developers do a great job, of course, you will have my credit. You will have my praise. I will say great things about it. You'll have a great feedback. And these guys from Indie Builds, man, they deserve all the praises. They did a fantastic job. And if you don't believe me, feel free to try it yourself and see for yourself, All right, so the only thing left to do, it's
Vancouver ground, Mr. 4K, upscaler Mike India Sierra Tango Echo Romeo. I am done with the boarding. Vancouver ground, Mr. 4K, upscaler Mike India Sierra Tango Echo Romeo. Taxi to parking.
Mr. 4K
Taxiing to general aviation parking using taxiway. Mr. 4K, upscaler Mike India Sierra Tango Echo Romeo.
all right. So we're done here. We're done. The only thing left for me to do is just to turn off the engine. All right, the engine, it's turned off. We're good. Yeah, we're all good. You know, the one thing I forgot to look was to see the passengers. What's it like in the passenger in the back? The passenger seats. You know, that's something that I forgot to do. The passenger seats. Let's go check out the passenger seats. Hold on. Wow, look at all the detail. Oh my goodness. Airbus A330. Wow. Wow. Look, there's a coffee maker. Hey, Ms. Lee, you could have made a coffee here. Ah, well. But you can still make a coffee, as a matter of fact. Hold on, we gotta go this way. Wow, look at the first class. Oh my goodness. Wow, this is impressive. I just realized. Wow. Wow. Oh my God. Look, they have televisions. Look at the first class. Any builds? Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Oh my God. Any builds? Any builds? I am impressed. I am beyond impressed. I'm telling you right now. Obviously, we turned off the engine, we turned off the batteries, so there's no light here. But any builds, I am impressed. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at the first class. Look at this. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. I am impressed. Wow. Impressive. Look at the first class. Wow, dude. Wow. Job well done. Job well done, Any Builds. This is really job well done. Wait till you see this in VR. See, this is what they're good at. Any Builds is good at the measurement of space. And that's very important. If you want to create a realistic airplane experience, you have to get the measurements correct. And they're really good at like getting the measurements, the sense of speed. I mean, not sense of speed, the sense of what am I saying? Sense of space. not a sense of speed, a sense of space. And they have a really good sense of space, and you'll see that when you put on a VR headset, just how well it's done. And again, this is, with the lights turned off. Obviously, if I turn on the engine, turn on the batteries, then this would look even more realistic. So, yeah, man, like look at the first class, how isolated the first class is. Wow, dude. Just wow, dude. Wow. Pretty impressive. The first class, it's very impressive. And then here we got the coach, obviously. The coach is this way, I believe. Right. The coach. Yeah, well, the coach is coach. It is what it is. It is what it is. But even the coach is good. Look at this. You have a television, you can watch TV. All right, so it's still good. But the thing with the coach is, it's kind of tight. You have to share. You have to share the seats with other people. You have to share the seats with other Karens. Yes, with other Karens. With other Karens, you have to share the seats. But this is by far the best airplane. Let me tell you. By far, this is the best airplane. I can't see myself using anything else other than A330. And this is included. This is included, man. Yes, Phoenix A320, it's very realistic, but you have to pay $80 for it. This is included. Any Builds, it's my favorite developers right now. Oh my God. Oh my God. Any Builds. Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Any Builds, great job. Great job. Great job. I am impressed. I am impressed. And I think this live stream, it's a proof just how good this plane is. Right? Let me sit over here. Oh. Let me sit over here. Let me take a screenshot right here. Wow. All right, Ms. Lee, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. It's always good to see you, Ms. Lee. It's always a pleasure, and I will see you on the next flight, okay? Make sure you get some coffee, all right? And there's some coffee in the back if you want. And make sure you get some rest, get some sleep, and I will see you on the next flight. Always a pleasure. Let's take one more photo here. Right here, let's take one more photo. Well, there you have it. Thank you guys for watching this live stream. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you shared this live stream. And if you like what I do, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you give me a thumbs up, share the video. Like I said, the best experience to experience my live stream, it's uninterrupted without commercials. So if you want like the best experience, of my live streams and my videos, the best way to enjoy them is by becoming a member and pay $2. It's only $2, but I think it's worth it because you will get to enjoy a live stream like this and many others in the future, and videos that I have. You will get to enjoy them uninterrupted without any commercials. Watching live streams, watching videos with commercials, it's not the same thing as when you are watching it without commercials, uninterrupted. So maybe you should consider becoming a member for $2. If you like what I do, not only do you get to support me, but at the same time you also get to enjoy watching my live streams and videos uninterrupted, as you should watch them uninterrupted. All right, well, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys later on. I will be back. We'll play some Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, because I have to do Forza Horizon 6 on Tuesday, so I have to play some Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag later on today, and then tomorrow, and then on Tuesday, of course, it's Forza Horizon 6, and I'll play Forza Horizon 6 on Tuesday and Wednesday, and we'll be playing it for a long time until I unlock everything that I need to unlock. And then in June, I think we'll play some Days Gone, right? In June, we'll play some Days Gone. And after I finish everything that I need to finish with Forza Horizon 6, then we'll switch the gears over to Days Gone. We'll play the Days Gone. And then when I finish Days Gone in July, we'll play The Last of Us Part 1. And then in August, we'll see what's available in August. And, you know, we'll take it from there. I don't want to go too far, you know, as to, you know, what I'm going to be playing in August, because August is still a long way to go. But once we get to August, I'll have a pretty good idea what I want to play in August. And I already have a good idea what I want to play in September. Obviously, Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, you know, Solid Snake, remastered version for the very first time. We're getting it on a PlayStation 5, and I can't wait, man. It's like the very first time that we're getting a PlayStation 3 game remastered, and we're getting the masterpiece, Hideo Kojima's masterpiece. So that's on September. Metal Gear, Guns of the Patriots, Metal Gear, War changes everything. So we'll be playing that. We'll be playing Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots. And then, you know, September, October, man, it's, you know, the time of the holiday season. You know, it's just right there around the corner of the holiday season. It's the pre-holiday season fever. People are already thinking about buying gifts for Christmas and all that. It's that pre-holiday season time of the year. And then, of course, a lot of games coming out, and the big behemoth, Grand Theft Auto 6. And of course, September, there's also, you know, this rumor that the Gears of War Emergence Day, Gears of War E-Day might be coming out. We'll find out more on June 7th. Xbox Showcase, which will be live streaming on June 7th from Los Angeles, California. I will be live streaming it. I will be live streaming it as well, directly from my channel. I'll be, you know, streaming it, and we'll look and see what Xbox has in store for us this year. What Asha Sharma, I would like to hear from Asha Sharma. Like, one of the main reasons why, before we end this video, one of the main reasons why I'm excited for Xbox Showcase is I want to hear what she has to say. I'm tired of reading a transcript. I want to hear it from her. I want an interview to be conducted by asking some very hard-hitting questions the future of Xbox now that the Phil Spencer is gone, Sarah Bond is gone, and you know, what are you doing different? What is your, you know, plans for the future? What can you tell us? What can you not tell us? What you're allowed to tell us, etc., etc. Because I want to hear it from her, and you know, to hear it from her, it'll be interesting. Maybe Phil Spencer will join her. Maybe he'll say a few things about, you know, where we are, and maybe he'll say a few things about what went wrong. Maybe he made some mistakes. I don't know. It doesn't matter right now, but that's why I'm excited for like the Xbox showcase in Los Angeles, California, June 7th. Mark your calendars. I will be live streaming, and I'm sure many of you will be live streaming it, so I'm excited for that. And then we'll see what games are coming out by the end of this year, right? Going into September, October, November, because, you know, it's that window of opportunity to release these games prior to the big behemoth, which is, you know, November 19th, Grand Theft Auto 6. No other game will survive on November 19th other than Grand Theft Auto 6, because whoever releases their game on November 19th, like, honestly, you have to be the biggest idiot of all time. Like, don't release your game in the month of November. And I don't think we'll see that many games being released in the month of November because of the big behemoth. If it's true, if the big behemoth, it's coming November 19th, which everyone is indicating that it is coming. There's too many leaks, way too many leaks, man. It's like a Richard Nixon Watergate, man. It's been leaking so bad. Everything's been leaking lately. A lot of leaks, a lot of leaks. Where's all the plumbers when you need them, right? But anyway, if it's true, and it looks like it is true, that pretty soon we'll have the pre-orders and we'll learn more about the pricing and everything. And November 19th, the month of November, no one will be releasing their games unless they're real idiots. And yeah, I have to use the word idiots because you really have to be an idiot to release the game in the same month as Grand Theft Auto 6, right? It's a big behemoth. So September, October, those 2 months, I want to see what's coming out September and October. Because if Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming, I guarantee you September and October of 2026 are going to be packed with video games, because they want to release their games before the big behemoth, or they will delay their games till next year. There's a possibility they might delay Fable till next year. But I think September, October, those 2 months are going to be packed with video games. So I want to hear what games are coming. So that's why I'm excited for Xbox Showcase, to hear it from her, and then also to hear more about Project Helix, what the Project Helix is going to be all about. And also, are there any news on maybe lowering the price of the Xbox Series X and S consoles during the holiday season? We'll see. And also this rumor that I heard about, that there might be a merger with Netflix. If that is true, if there is a merger with Xbox Game Pass and Netflix, I think that's great. I think a lot of us would be happy, because not only do you get to have the best gaming service, which is the Game Pass, but you also would be getting the best entertainment, movie, TV shows service called Netflix. So you would have the two best of the both worlds services all in one, and people wouldn't mind paying for two great services like Xbox Game Pass and Netflix. Are you kidding me? People wouldn't mind paying, even $29, people wouldn't mind. Because if you think about it, just to get a Netflix service with a 4K resolution and a Dolby Vision HDR and Dolby Atmos, you're looking at $28.28. So that's close to $30. So if you can get Xbox Game Pass and Netflix 4K for $30, that's a great deal. And I wouldn't mind paying $30 a month for two great services. Now, this is all speculations. We don't know, okay? These are just rumors. Rumors are rumors. You have to take them with a grain of salt for what they are. It's a grain of salt. It's what it is. It's a rumor. You can't take it 100%, you know. Nothing gets set in stone. So that's why I'm looking forward to June 7th Xbox Showcase, which will be broadcast directly from Los Angeles, California, and I will be live streaming it, and I will let you know what I think. I will give you my thoughts and opinions. So that's what's going on. That's the plan for my future videos and live streams, and obviously these plans can change. You know, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't have, a time travel machine. I don't know. Things can always change. You never know. You know what I mean? But that's the schedule. That's the plan that I have currently right now for my channel. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Like I said, Airbus 330. It's amazing. 2 thumbs up, way up. You need to try this. Airbus 330. You need to try it. Anything else? Yeah, I think I said enough. You know, but like I said, I give this 2 thumbs up. This Airbus 330 from Builds. Builds, congratulations. You did a fantastic job. This is probably the most realistic airplane that you can get that's included. And I'm telling you, you need to try this plane. And once you try it, you will understand what I was talking about. Because I don't just give praises and give credits just like that, like a candy on a Halloween. If I give a praise to a product, you better believe it that it's great. And in this case, it is great. And I think this live stream, it's a proof that it's great. All right. Well, there you have it. There you have it, guys. That's it. That's all I have to say about that. That's all I had to say about that. My name is Gump. I'm Forrest Gump. That's all I had to say about that. I think I have to go pee. I believe I have to go pee. I have to go pee. I think I have to go pee for real. Forrest Gump or no Forrest Gump, I really have to go pee. Anyway, thank you for watching. Happy Sunday. Good morning. Thank you. And I will see you later on with Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I think it's a part 5. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag part 5. I'll see you later on. Thank you very much.